our Bears fans, supporters, and supporter groups. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you for the introduction. I've been overwhelmed with messages of support following the announcement of me in the role. So I'm enormously excited to be wearing the red and black. I know as a kid, spending many times running around on the hill at Sydney Oval many years ago, watching the Bears, and I was fortunate enough to be at the last home game prior to starting the role, and just to see the feeling in and around the club and around game day and the amount of support the Bears have is really refreshing, and something that I'm looking forward to being a part of as we take the club forward. A little bit about me. I've been in and around the game of rugby league in a full-time capacity for just over 25 years. I've worked across 3 NRL clubs. I started my rugby league journey at the Parramatta Eels, and I started in game development. My roles across those clubs and across the game has been real football focused, in and around teams, in particular game development, pathways, junior reps, and football. So I started my journey at Parramatta and spent 15 years there as a development officer, working my way through the club to oversee welfare, community, game development, football, and then finally finishing up as football manager at the Eels. I left the Eels to take on a role at the NRL, and that was a role in managing all the elite programs, everything from the Australian Kangaroos down to the Australian schoolboys. I managed the program for the Australian Gillaroos and our Prime Minister's 13, our junior Kangaroos, Australian schoolboys. I was fortunate enough to manage the Australian Kangaroos on 3 tours, a World Cup and 2 Four Nations, which were great experiences. I also had a bit of oversight in working with both state leagues through the Origin process, through the Origin period during my time in the game. Working for the NRL, I guess you could have classified me as Switzerland during that time when New South Wales and Queensland were fiercely battling the Origin series. I was the go-between there, so I was fortunate enough to work with both state leagues through that process as well. But managing all representative and elite forms of the game, which was enormously rewarding on a number of levels. One with the Kangaroos and the success that they had, but also trying to bolster the women's program, the Gillaroos, was part of that. My role there as well. So I took a lot of satisfaction out of being able to put a bit of a mark on that spot as well. I left the NRL to take. I sort of missed the game, the week-to-week footy and clubland. So I left the NRL, to take on head of football roles across 2 more NRL clubs, which were a great experience for me. Most recently, I've been doing some consulting work with the International Rugby League Federation, Asia Pacific Rugby League, and a little bit of work for the 2021 Rugby League World Cup, with a real focus on working with our Pacific neighbours and their national teams to get their teams ready for hopefully a World Cup this year, but also to put some governance, compliance, operational support around those national rugby league bodies that we have in the Pacific, Fiji, PNG, Tonga, Samoa, the Cook Islands, to try and bolster their rugby league programs. So that's been a part of my rugby league journey over the last, like I said, 25 plus years. I've enjoyed every minute of it, but I'm equally as excited about my next phase here and working with the Bears and trying to bring some of my knowledge, experience that I've been able to gather over my period in the game to the Bears. I've been fortunate that I've been able to work with some wonderful administrators, and a lot of them are still very close friends and me now, as well as some terrific head coaches over that time. So my rugby league knowledge in working with all of them at different levels has obviously helped me shape my role here, and hopefully I can bring some of that experience to the Bears. Well, I think ultimately, and in a lot of the conversations I've had, we'd love to position ourselves to feature back and have an NRL presence. I think that's obviously high on our list of priorities. So working with the board working with stakeholders to position ourselves where we can hopefully feature or be in some conversations around getting ourselves back there and having an NRL presence is enormously important to us. In regards to 2021, as most people are, we're dealing with a lot of external influences at the moment. COVID is a tough one for us all. We've got a New South Wales Cup team that are doing a terrific job on field, and albeit, I guess the plans for 2021 is to position them to hopefully finish the season strong, compete well in the final series, and hopefully win the New South Wales Cup. That would be an enormous achievement for us, given all the challenges this year. I know that our Harvey Norman women were very close to a final series this year. It's important that we put some more support around them, and we start ourselves on the right foot for them as we approach 2022 with our women's. There's a real appetite for the female game. And, we've got a female presence, a girls' presence in our junior league. But I'd like to have some conversations, and that's already started with our board, around the opportunity for a Tasha Gale team for 2022 to give those young girls and women in our district and in our community a pathway to play in the Harvey Norman Women's Comp, and hopefully then represent an NRLW program. So there's a lot of things there. It's no secret that we're a very well supported club. Everybody loves the Bears. That's been a consistent message that I've heard from a lot of our fans and a lot of people that I've spoken to. Everyone loves the Bears, which is great. How do we convert some of those supporters into members is something that we need to work really hard on to increase our membership base. That will obviously help us with any discussions we want to have with the NRL in regard to a presence there. Working with our corporate partners, how can we work closely together with our corporate partners to draw up some more corporate support? There are a lot of areas there that we need to work really hard on to help us grow as a club and then help our footprint there in the rugby league landscape. So just in closing, I look forward to obviously our restrictions lifting. We have at this stage, four home games remaining at North Sydney Oval. I look forward to getting out there and meeting as many of our fans, our members, our supporters as possible, getting to spend a bit of time with our corporate partners. So I look forward to working with my team to deliver 4 great home games as we conclude the season. Everyone is doing a terrific job here at the Bears to make sure that we create that experience for you all. To our members and fans, I look forward to catching up with you. If you see me at the footy, come and say hello. I look forward to chatting with you all and hopefully supporting our New South Wales Cup team as we finish the season on a high. So thanks very much, everybody. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all at the footy.